All right, you got the picture? Good. Everybody get back to work.
Like
I have no idea.
Historically,
the biblical version or like the
any of it, all of it,
historicized version?
any of it.
I vaguely remember it, but it's like the fight for the Holy Land, right? And who owns it?
That's
And
that's
who
what I
doesn't
know
own
about it. That's basically all I know about it.
I didn't know Palestine was involved in that. Maybe I'm just ignorant. Maybe I'm just ignorant to it though.
Maybe I explained it wrong, but that's what I remember.
As far as I know, it's a Jewish versus Muslim thing as a fight for the Holy Land.
I don't know about all that. I just know
That's
that
what I
those
thought
two
it was.
countries are
Oh,
those
shit.
two countries are going at it.
But
Because Israel said it's their land, but I believe the United States gave the current people in Israel, and the people of Palestine got Palestine. I believe that's what happened, but I could be wrong. It's been many years since I remember reading
well, I
incredible.
found a video that kind of explained it to us from like a historical context, and I got a video to explain us for like what's going on right now.
it. Let's do it. Is this guy?
Hi,
gonna be
I'm
talking to
John
us?
Green. This is
Oh
World
my
History, and
God!
today we're going to talk about
actually can't
Israel
even
and
hear him.
Palestine, hopefully without a flame
Oof.
war. Yeah, big ask,
No.
Mr. Green. I mean, that fight goes back thousands and thousands of years.
Except thousands of years ago, there wasn't an Islam yet. So yeah, no.
Also,
That
let me
shit's funny.
submit that very little of this
It's a heavy
conflict
button.
between Israel and Palestine over the last several decades has been about, like, theological differences between Islam and Judaism. No one's arguing about whether the most important prophets descended from Abraham's son Isaac or his son Ishmael, right? It's not about whether to fast during Yom Kippur or Ramadan. It's about land. Portraying the conflict as eternal or as religious makes it feel intractable in a way that, frankly, it isn't. So instead, let's begin, as most historians do, in the late 19th century. And instead of talking about religion, let's follow the lead of historians like James Gelvin and discuss competing nationalisms. Okay, so in the late 19th century, the Ottoman Empire ruled over what we now know as Palestine. The population there, according to Ottoman records from 1878, was 87% Muslim, 10% Christian, and 3% Jewish. Everybody spoke Arabic as the daily language, and in Jerusalem, the religious populations were roughly equal. To give you a sense of life in Ottoman Palestine, an Arab Orthodox Christian musician named Wasif Jaharia grew up in Jerusalem in the first decade of the 20th century, learning the Quran in school and celebrating both Passover and Eid with his Jewish and Muslim neighbors. Ottoman Palestine was, in short, a place in which people of different religious faiths lived peacefully together. All right, let's go to the thought bubble. The late 19th century was the golden age of nationalism in Europe, and no place was crazier than the Habsburg Austro-Hungarian Empire, in which at least 10 different nations all wanted their own state. And in that hyper-nationalistic empire lived a Jewish journalist named Theodor Herzl, who had hoped that Jews could assimilate into European nations, but soon became convinced that the Jewish people needed to leave Europe and settle in their own state. The concept of Jewish nationalism came to be known as Zionism. It's important to keep in mind that most Zionists were secular Jews, so they imagined Israel as a state for Jews more than a Jewish state. In 1917, the British government, hoping to gain the support of Jewish people, issued the Balfour Declaration, promising, quote, the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people. A bold promise, considering that Palestine was still technically Ottoman, as they hadn't yet lost World War I. Of course, they would soon, but it turned out that the British were over-promisers when it came to Palestine, because a year before the Balfour Declaration, the British had secretly promised the French that they would divide up the Arab territories and the Brits would keep Palestine. Furthermore, in 1915, other British officials had promised the ruler of Mecca, Sharif Hussein, that he would rule over an Arab state, including Palestine, if he led an Arab revolt against Ottoman rule, which Hussein promptly did. So basically, the Brits had promised Palestine to the Meccans, to themselves, and to the Zionists. What could go wrong? Thanks, Thought Bubble. So shortly after the end of the war, the British established a colony in Palestine with the idea that they'd rule until the Palestinians were ready to govern themselves. At which point the people living in Palestine were like, well, now seems good. And the British were like, yeah, but maybe not just yet. Meanwhile, the British established separate institutions for Christians, Jews, and Muslims, making it difficult for Palestinian Christians and Muslims to cooperate and easier for the British to, quote, divide and rule the inhabitants of Palestine. Again, what could go wrong? Meanwhile, the British did attempt to honor the Balfour Declaration's
The British
promise
be
to
fucking shit up.
facilitate Jewish immigration under suitable
They stay fucking
conditions.
shit up.
Between 1920 and 1939, the Jewish population of Palestine increased by over 320,000 people. In fact, by 1938, Jews were just under 30% of the population of Palestine. And the growing Jewish population focused on purchasing land from absentee non-Palestinian Arab landowners and then evicting Palestinian farmers who were living and working there. By controlling both the land and the labor, they hoped to establish a more secure community within Palestine. But of course, these practices heightened tensions between Jewish people and Arab Palestinians during the 1920s and 1930s. Along the way, Palestinian Arabs began to think of themselves as the Palestinian nation, and that growing sense of nationalism erupted in 1936 when the Palestinians revolted against the British. With the help of Jewish militias, the British brutally suppressed the Palestinian revolt, but in the aftermath, the British issued a white paper limiting Jewish immigration to Palestine and calling for the establishment of a joint Arab and Jewish state in Palestine within 10 years. This managed to leave no one happy. The Zionists were angry at Britain for limiting Jewish immigration at a time when Jews particularly needed to leave Europe, and the Arab Palestinians were unhappy about the prospect of waiting 10 years for a state. And then came World War II, which was actually quite a peaceful time in Palestine. But then it ended and tensions resumed, and the British realized that colonies like Palestine were far more trouble than they were worth, so they handed the issue of Palestine over to
They
the newly
survived
created
Hitler.
United
It was a very cool time during Hitler for them. I'm sorry to interrupt that. Did you hear what he just said? They're like smack dab in the middle of pretty much all of this stuff that happened in World War II.
Israel?
Yeah, if I'm right, maybe a little bit west.
Poland, right? It wasn't the Jews in Palestine.
I'm just saying Russia, Germany, Italy, all of this is involved right here. I mean, Israel's a little bit further west, am I right? Maybe southwest. It's just crazy that it was so peaceful, and then like during the rest of the world, like it's chaos, and then it goes back for them to just be chaotic. That's
Most
crazy.
of that war was in Europe, though, not Middle East.
Touche, I guess touche. All right, my fault, y'all. That statement just blew me away. When you say World War, when you say World War, and then after the World War, they just go back to being a little bit. Heck, my fault.
World War probably means of like the
Japanese,
first generation or
Japanese, American,
first world countries. You know.
yeah. I don't
Germany,
think China.
Japan, and Italy.
I don't think China was involved at all.
No.
Yeah, I know Japan was.
Sure.
Who's Russia and Germany and yeah. Okay, let's just go. I'm ready.
All of Africa.
They're like, oh, hey there,
Yeah,
United
nobody-
Nations, for your first problem. So in November of 1947, the United Nations voted to partition Palestine into separate Palestinian and Jewish states. The partition plan called for two states roughly equal in size, but the borders looked like a jigsaw puzzle. I mean, you do not look at this map and think, yeah, that's gonna work. Sure enough, it didn't. And soon after the plan was announced, the cleverly named 1948 Arab-Israeli War broke out, with Israel on the one side and the Palestinians and many Arab states on the other. The Israelis won, and when an armistice was signed in 1949, Israel occupied a third more land than they would have had under the UN proposal. Meanwhile, Jordan controlled and later annexed the West Bank and the Old City of Jerusalem, and Egypt controlled the Gaza Strip. Over 700,000 Palestinians fled their homes and became refugees in the surrounding Arab countries. To Israelis, this war was the beginning of their nation. To the Palestinians, it was the Nabka, the catastrophe, as they became stateless. Over the next 18 years, nothing changed territorially, and then in 1967, Israel and several Arab states went to war again. It was called the 6 Days War because, get this, it lasted 6 days. Israel won and then gained control over the West Bank, the Gaza Strip, the Sinai Peninsula, and the Golan Heights. So the 1947 proposal looked like this. By 1967, things looked like this. Then the UN passed Resolution 242. Man, they are good at naming resolutions, which outlined a basic framework for achieving peace, including Israel withdrawing from the territory acquired in the war, and all participants recognizing the rights of both a Palestinian and an Israeli state to exist. This, of course, did not happen. After the war, the broader Israeli-Arab conflict morphed into a more specific Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And this is a nice moment to note that not all Muslims are Arabs, not all Arabs are Palestinians, and not all Palestinians are Muslims. Like, there's a significant Christian minority of Palestinians, for instance. Palestinian is a word used to describe the ethnic identity of those who have historically lived in Palestine. There were, for instance, lots of Christians in the Palestinian Liberation Organization, or PLO, formed in 1964 and led by Yasser Arafat. The PLO oversaw guerrilla groups that attacked civilians, but also used non-violent approaches to try to achieve a Palestinian state. And meanwhile, the Israeli government began to establish Jewish settlements in what had been Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip. There are now over 350,000 Jewish settlers in the West Bank and over 200,000 in East Jerusalem. And these settlements are illegal according to international law, but Israel counters by saying that they aren't really illegal because Palestine isn't really a state. By the late 1980s, Palestinians launched the First Intifada, which literally means shaking off. And this began with boycotts of Israeli products and services and refusing to pay Israeli taxes. But when the Israeli armed forces cracked down on protesters, violence ensued. And the First Intifada also saw the founding of Hamas, which launched the first suicide bombing against Israel in 1993. Hamas gained support partly because of its militancy, but mostly because of its social welfare projects in Gaza. It built and staffed schools, mosques, and clinics. The most important legacy of the First Intifada was the emergence of peace talks between Palestinians and Israelis. This led to the Oslo Accords and a peace process based on our old friend United Nations Security Council Resolution 242. But there were a lot of issues to resolve. I mean, putting aside the question of how to make two states that don't look like a jigsaw puzzle, there was the question of the Jewish settlement and the right for Palestinian refugees and their descendants to return to Palestine, water rights, which are a big deal in that part of the world, and so on. It's very complicated. So then came the Clinton talk. So it's time for the open letter. But first, let's see what's inside of the globe. Oh, look, it's a collection of philandering American presidents. An open letter to Bill Clinton. Hey, Bill, so your talks probably came closer than any other time in recent history to an actual peace deal between the Israelis and the Palestinians. Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak is willing to give up more land currently claimed by Israel than at any time in the past. Even Yasser Arafat was surprised. Although not all the questions got addressed, you were definitely closing in on something. But in the end, it didn't happen. And since then, not to criticize you, things have gotten kind of worse and worse and worse. Worst of all, that was your big legacy moment. Now all you've got is the conflict in Northern Ireland getting resolved while you were president. In short, it could have been amazing, but instead it was kind of meh. Kind of like your presidency, actually. At least we'll always have those vodka-soaked hugs with Boris Yeltsin to look back on. Best wishes, John Green. So the Clinton talks failed, Ehud Barak's government was undermined, and then in September of 2000, Prime Minister candidate Ariel Sharon led 1,000 armed guards to the Temple Mount in the old city of Jerusalem. To Muslims, this is known as the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and it's the third holiest site in Islam, behind only the Kaaba in Mecca and the Prophet's Mosque in Medina. And it's the holiest site in Judaism, so in short, it's a pretty touchy place to march to with 1,000 armed guards. So the event sparked a massive protest, which eventually led to the much more violent Second Intifada, in which more than 3,000 Palestinians and 1,000 Israelis were eventually killed. In 2002, the Israelis, claiming to act in defense of civilians, began construction of a wall around the West Bank, but instead of following the borders established after the 1967 war, the barrier was built to include many Israeli settlements on the Israeli side. To Israelis, that was about self-defense. To Palestinians, it was an illegal land grab. Then in 2005, Yasser Arafat died, and in an election shortly thereafter, Hamas won a majority of the parliamentary seats. Since then, Hamas and the Palestinian Authority have sort of divided how to govern Palestine, and it's also sort of been poorly governed. In the past 10 years, Hamas has frequently launched rocket attacks into Israel. Israel has responded with extended and extremely violent invasions of Palestinian territory that have seen thousands of Palestinians killed, many of them militants, but also many not. Both parties claim to be responding to the provocations of the other, but much of the conflict reflects a consistent failure on all sides to understand the legitimacy of the other's narrative. To Palestine, the Palestinian people have been denied a state not just since the formation of Israel, but also for decades before that, and now they live under what amounts to a military occupation. And that's all true. To Israel, the Jewish people clearly need a homeland, which the United Nations established, and they certainly aren't the first nation-state to consolidate and increase their territory via military victory. And they need to protect their nation against the many active threats made against them by their neighbors. That's also true. It's important to understand the internal logic of these competing nationalist visions. For both Zionist and Palestinian national visions to eventually work. It's necessary to understand the right of each to exist and the legitimacy of each's historical narrative. But these problems aren't thousands of years old, and they aren't intractable. They emerged in the British Mandatory period. But let's hope that by understanding that this isn't an endless religious war, that we might be closer to seeing its end. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.
2011.
2015.
Well, I just guessed. I don't even know if YouTube was out back then.
That was that's just that is touchy. I can't imagine. That's just, at the end of the day, what he said at the end was probably 100% right. Both should both have the right to live in their religious narrative, at least where they're, like, in the land of the religious narrative.
But how are they going to do that after
They need to figure
years
out
of
how.
fighting?
Yeah, they need to figure out how to do it peacefully. In the realness of it is, I'm pretty sure. Hopefully, well, no, I can't say that, because I was gonna say both gods will probably just want peace, but there's gods who are
We're
right.
supposed to
Let's
be
say righteous.
the people of the book, yet we can't get together.
It's not a sign
None of
to
them,
me. Yeah.
both of them fucking crazy.
I'm not saying crazy. They just need to figure it out.
Yeah,
Because there's no reason that people should be dying for what y'all beliefs are. It's not like somebody's coming in there and saying, at least from what that video just said.
What they should do.
It don't sound like they're saying believe in something else. They're just occupying the land that what you believe in. And
Wherever Jerusalem is, make that even ground and split it half in every other direction. Call it a day.
I think Clinton, he was right about Clinton though. If you were that close, then you need to figure it out, because I can see, like, the water thing that they brought up being a very important thing. Absolutely.
Have all that shit be shared. Everybody split it 50-50. If you're gonna fight over it more than a month in court or whatever, split it. Everybody gets to share 50-50.
And we're bringing our own people so they can man it, so they can run it. Because it's just ridiculous that nobody should be dying over this, man.
It's stupid. The UN.
I hate to say that.
Not US, the UN.
UN, yeah,
Not the
UN.
UN.
Thank you. Yeah, the UN. Thank you. Because nobody should be dying over this.
It's stupid.
Like, not this much. Like each time he said like people, like this many people on each side died, it was like, come on, man. Like, these are just civilians, and they're just trying to live in where they believe, and that's cool, and I get that. But there shouldn't be bloodshed on the ground of where you believe. That's how
Sad.
say what you want. I just don't think I'm a peaceful type person. You gotta figure that out. You gotta figure it out, because civilians shouldn't just be getting hurt. That's in my opinion.
What else you got? Yeah, I work with a lady, and her father is in Israel, and she sends him videos of the missiles coming towards his house every day.
That's freaky, man.
I could not imagine.
Yeah. That's good. All right.
I know, but not everybody needs to die.
I don't think. Yeah, I'm not. Look, once again, I'm not playing God. I don't think no God is just saying you did the right thing, dying for or killing somebody else. Like, I just don't see it like that. People are supposed to live out their life until, supposed to be. That's just, I don't know, man. Look, and that's why I said.
That's like 60% of the world's religious population's holy land. Everybody can share it. It's not that big of a deal. I don't think they're fighting over Jerusalem itself. I think they're fighting over the repeated loss of land, the loss of recognition as a sovereign entity,
Yeah,
things like that.
I understand that too.
I don't think it's actually about the structures in Jerusalem, or
But
you know.
here's the thing about that. Like what you said, it can be that, but at some point when the resolution gets brought to the table, you have to be able to say, okay, that's good enough, as long as more people don't get hurt, and we get exactly, at least most, as long as we get what we want and we can return back to our land. I think that, to me, that's what it sounds like the most important thing, that they get back to their land. I don't know.
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I do believe in the Old Testament of the Bible that when they had the Exodus from Egypt, that they left and landed in what is Israel and Jerusalem and everything like that. That was the Jewish people's original, like, holy land or home or whatever. And then eventually other people came, and the Arabic people or whatever. I don't really remember the story that well, but they got re-enslaved or something. I don't know if it was the Ottomans or whoever it was, but I think they got re-enslaved. And then years later, here we are, still fighting over this piece of fucking land.
So it just doesn't go away.
I think it's just cursed land. Like people just, what's it called? The Fertile Crescent? Is that area?
That
Or am I
sounds,
thinking of something different?
that sounds familiar.
I don't know,
for
but
sure.
there's got to be
I'll be right
something
back.
that's making people go crazy.
Yeah, man, I don't. Yeah, it's just because where's Mecca at? Is Mecca?
I think Mecca is in the Middle East, but not inside of Palestine. I think it's an own state, right? Or country. Is it? Where is Mecca?
Good question. I don't know.
Yeah, Mecca is in Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. All right.
They got bread over.
Right. They got a. Look,
It's in like Arabic, the writing on Google Maps. See that? That's pretty dope. I wonder if like places in Mexico, like it's in English and Spanish too.
You want to look it up real quick?
Where should we look up? Like San Juan?
Sure.
Where is San Juan? I guess it would all be in Spanish.
Yeah,
then,
yeah, it's just
since
all
they
in
speak Spanish.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We're trying to go to Trujillo Alto.
That sounds like either fun place or fun.
So this is Suarez. This is why Rob shouldn't leave us alone.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. What is it?
But in general, this needs to be figured out. I really don't. At the same time, I really don't like the fact that people like the UN got to step in and got to figure it out. I think y'all both need to figure it out as both nations and beliefs.
What's going on here? Do you think that whatever, if there's a solution, could be used in America to solve the race wars?
So that's what I was actually thinking about a lot over here. I didn't want to compare it to over there, but
I mean,
it sounds,
the same thing.
yeah, regardless
Just
of,
not fighting for land.
yeah, like the natives, black people. But I don't know. But we live amongst each other. You know what I mean?
If they were like, we're gonna have 3 sections of the world, right? Like the east to the Middle East, the middle, and then we have the West Coast, right?
In the world?
In America.
Gotcha.
Continents of USA.
Gotcha.
On the East Coast, let's say it's only non-minorities, and then in the middle is minorities, and then on the West Coast, it's
Wait.
like anybody can be there.
Slow down. You want to
Hold on.
segregate America?
Hold on, let me finish. Hold on. So the West Coast, anybody can go, and all the different like islands and stuff, like Bahamas, and
people be out there.
anybody can go to those places.
Yeah, everybody be out there.
So, do you think that would work?
You would see
What about
an
Texas?
influx of people- you'd be able to see an influx of people going into those tropical places.
No, that's what. So
Just
I
because-
said the East Coast, Rob. I'm gonna cut you up. East Coast, let's say, is majorities. The
So white
middle, I said majorities. Whoever is a majority.
Why are you trying to put the white people in the cold? That's funny
Hold
as
on,
hell.
hold on. In the middle would be minorities, and on the west.
Y'all are crazy.
I never said white people.
Thank
I
you.
said
I know.
majority.
I knew what you were saying. I didn't. One of them. Here come Rob. Okay. Shoot.
But I know, I'm playing devil's advocate. I know segregation's wrong. People should be able to love wherever. But I'm saying, if we, because we're talking about this Palestine-Israel thing, right?
Yeah.
If we were to do that in America, do you think that would help anything? Like, do you think
So here's the
people
thing.
would just be able, if they didn't fuck with minorities, just be like, fuck it, we're going to Maine. Like,
Bro.
you would never see a minority again.
I think it's as simple as this, LA. What they did for like the Native Americans, about giving them land to work off of, that's their land that they owned, that no government shit can happen on. Those Indian people own it. There's no reason that shouldn't have happened for black people.
I mean, they tried to start it in
We
Reconstruction.
weren't here, though. We did lose our land.
So we just lose our privilege to our land because we weren't here, and the white people just said, "Oops." I still want my
people who came here and had their land taken were given their land back, right?
As far as I'm concerned, I think we should have that land.
But it wasn't our land.
It was never ours.
It wasn't their land either.
Wait, you talking about the natives?
I'm
right?
very confused.
Yeah, you said the
I'm
natives.
saying
came
that
back, they gave their back, right? That's what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So where are you saying, Rob?
I'm saying that we should have the native people's land. Black
Why?
people.
Yeah. Okay. Why?
Because we didn't get shit. We literally didn't get shit. Darren, all we got is American
You
citizenship.
say Darren. You talking to LA? Don't put down. Oh, I'm gonna
So you
look.
about to rob Peter to pay Paul? That's what you want them to do?
What's it called? 3 camels and three donkeys and a mule or whatever?
3 acres and a mule?
We never got that. We never got that.
This is your friend.
Right.
Yo.
Look, Reconstruction just got abolished.
So,
History. Look. History.
honestly, I'm gonna tell you a little bit of the history that I can remember. So when in history, when slavery was abolished, there was a expedition to Africa where hundreds, thousands of free slaves were like, you know what, we're going back to the motherland, and they landed on the west coast of Africa, and they created a sovereign nation known as Liberia, LIB baby, and they created a state, or not a state, a town, whatever you want to call it, called Monrovia, Liberia, and it is an exact replica of Washington D.C.
Sounds like a beautiful place.
That's
What's it
where
called?
all of our free slaves went to. It's called Liberia.
Wait, they
Oh,
sent
yeah,
all our
yeah.
free slaves to Liberia.
They didn't send anybody. That's where they went.
Yeah, man. Can you stop? Like, just do the history of Liberia, man. He can't spell Liberia.
I got a little like thing when I was younger.
L-Y, boy.
Liber.
It's
Yeah.
L-Y, ain't it?
No, that's Libya.
Stupid.
Liberia is where we come from. But like, I have a little projects from like second through fifth grade that we would do and shit. Yeah, that's where
I'm wrong.
all your ancestors went to. Those of you who were just here in America for generations.
I thought
Liberia began
interesting.
settlement.
I thought more people went to the islands. To Europe.
Yeah, some went to the islands too. See that?
Wait, I'm confused. Who believe black people would face better chances for freedom and prosperity in Africa than in the United States?
Yes.
So how did they get there? How did they get there?
They left America.
This is before slave. Okay,
That's what I'm saying.
Crazy. You said free. They were free.
I thought they were free.
They would have to be free before it's not. These were, like you said, they're probably free, but they weren't. How do I put this? They were free before, like during slavery.
When was slavery? When's the
It
emancipation?
ended 61, 65 is when the war happened.
61, 65.
1861 and 65. So to say they got their independence in 1847, they, like you said, they had to be free slaves probably in the north, or free black folk in the north.
Yeah.
And they was just like, you know what?
Fuck this.
Let's go to Africa. Let's go back. Dang, that's crazy. That's where, look, that's crazy. There's so many people that say, not necessarily go back to Africa or whatever, but that say they want to go to Africa. I feel like that's where our people are probably the closest to, like closest to us anyway. You know what I mean?
That's where I'm from.
Here, yeah, that makes sense.
I look like a normal black person, and I'm African as fuck.
That makes sense.
Yes, sir.
They chose a beautiful place.
We're going back next Christmas if you're interested. The flights are $2,000
Oh, damn.
round trip.
I'm chilling with your family the whole time.
Yeah, we got a compound.
I might really go with you on this one. Alright, look, hold on. Do y'all got can I get
Hold on, look for Monrovia. It's the main. Oh, but there was a civil war. That's why we're in America.
Yeah,
Shit got fucked up.
Damn.
Corruption was crazy.
Oh, so this is
I
before.
gotta look into the history of this place now.
Facts.
But that was 20-something years ago now. My uncle lives there. He just came back to get his COVID shots, and he's going back.
Oh, that's dope.
What are we
I
looking
just
for?
wanted to be there at the water.
Monrovia. Look, just Monrovia, Liberia. You'll see it. Just search it.
Man,
How you spell that shit?
Monrovia. M-O-N. There you go.
them free black folk chose a good place.
Go to maps.
Cause I sure enough want to be on that water.
That's right next to the ocean. So,
Do you see it?
I want.
yeah, that's Monrovia. It's highlighted.
Where?
Just keep showing it.
Am I tripping?
To the left, to the left, to the left. I think that's it.
That looks really nice.
Oh no! Stop playing with me, LA.
Yeah. So that whole strip
Y'all should stay at this 5-star hotel.
probably can.
This place looks beautiful.
Oh, and I think $1 US like $50 there.
Don't say that.
So,
Don't say that. Hey, Darren,
It's-
if you go to that, you can buy some land, dog.
It's insane.
Yo, this is
Like
crazy.
my
yo.
uncle lives like a king off his retirement checks over there. He's got like 3 cars. He's got a driver.
Does he have a Ferrari?
No, he's got a Jeep. He's got a new wife down there.
That's
Got a
what you
daughter.
How long? How long y'all gonna be there?
I think we're gonna go for like 2 or 3 weeks.
I might roll with you on this one.
But they're building roads and stuff. You know. Things are getting better, so I've heard. I want to go back. I want to go see.
You know what I want to do?
What?
If you ever get like a lot of money, just go to like some random country and just rebuild it and literally make the new Wakanda.
That's kind of
Like,
what I feel like Akon is
Your
trying to do
own
right now.
country.
And just like push everybody into the future with that shit.
I feel like Akon's trying to do that right now.
What, you know what country it is? You trying to do it?
Sierra Leone? Am I wrong?
I don't know where he's from.
Not
Not all Africans know them each other.
duh. I'm just saying. I thought you knew, bro. Nah,
No, I think.
I thought it
Where's
was.
Benny Siegel from? I think that's Benny Siegel. No, he's Sudan. Where's Benny Siegel?
I don't know.
I don't know. We have Google.
I know
We'll figure it out.
Akon. I'm almost positive Akon is doing it in Sierra Leone. Don't quote me though. I
It
can't.
might be Sierra Leone.
Africa is too big.
Oh, he's from Philly. Never mind. Is there too many seagulls?
I only know one.
That looks like the right many seagull.
I think you.
Hey, we have the same birthday. But I have the same birthday with the most random people.
Wait,
Oh, yeah?
where's Akon built in this city though? I do need to know this.
Building Wakanda. Get out of here. Uganda.
Senegal.
Acon City?
Yeah, I knew I was off. Off. Yeah, man.
A-Coin? He wildin'.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, man. If you build it, you can do it, right?
Yeah, but this is exactly what I was talking about, though.
I knew I was wrong. I really felt like Sierra Leone was right, but now that I see, I knew. Yeah. Yeah, man. Oh, so it's gonna be based in cryptocurrency too?
He said A-Coin.
I kind of like this place. Yeah, man.
6 billion.
Yeah. I can't wait.
How rich is Akon? My God.
Let's find out.
Nah, I think he got funding, help with funding with this. I could be wrong.
He definitely has funding.
I don't trust that. Let's go find a Forbes.
It
Bro, I
said,
don't
why-
know. I say, whatever this
it
is,
says-
cut it in half.
It said, "Why is Akon so rich?" Look at that. People also ask.
Although the money he has earned through his work in the music industry has contributed to majority of his personal net worth of $80 million, this is not the only way Akon has earned money. In February 2007, he launched his own clothing line called Convict Clothing.
Never knew
I mean, I knew about it. I didn't think.
What was that popping?
Yeah.
that. Where is R. Kelly's net worth?
I
I
don't
wanna
know.
see
if
that.
Probably zero now at this point.
I want to see. It's down there.
Yeah.
It's down.
Just
It's
click
down.
down there. Just click down there.
Negative
Oh.
2 millions. Oh, no. Not the Pied Piper.
You know, man. It's some lawyer fees, man.
Damn.
Lawyer fees, man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he probably got some pretty good fucking lawyers.
Oh,
You would
that's
think
shitty.
streaming. You would think you would still be making money off streaming, though.
They canceled it, didn't they? This is my story. Yeah, from that A till dark.
I bet you when he went to jail, everybody went to YouTube and still watched Trapped in the Closet at least
I
one
love that
time.
shit. I love Trapped in the Closet.
Man, it's a good story. I can't lie. It's a story that have you into it. That is crazy. What are you looking up, man?
I keep spelling it wrong.
No,
I remember when I had a sidekick.
bruh. That sidekick. Yo, sidekicks used to be dope though.
Back in the day.
That little slide.
Dang. Nick Cannon was young back in the day.
Man.
What's this?
This is the Rick and Morty trailer Darren wanted to watch.
Yeah, so this just dropped today. I'm excited. Look, I'm a Rick and Morty fan.
I haven't seen Rick and Morty in a while.
I just think the writers are extremely creative with them.
That Dan Harmon guy, he does a lot of shit too.
See it?
Someone out there is trying to kill us.
Someone's always trying to kill us. Rich ass. Sorry? Who is that?
Now what?
Now we go team go try. When do I ask you for anything? When do you? I haven't been to a full week of school in years. I don't know.
Please? A strange, horny ocean man is on my lawn.
Sweetie, don't get all worked up before your job interview.
Job interview.
Yes? Is that so hard to believe?
Actually, yeah. Something's off.
Just to work as a team.
Yeah, most people would call that family.
Oh shit.
What the? I f***ed it up, okay? It's okay, Morty. That's what you do. Let me Deus Ex Machina this and let's go home. Say hello to my little me.
New Rick and Morty starting Sunday, June 20th at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
I can hear you, Morty.
Only on Adult Swim.
Yeah.
The season doesn't seem any less wild than the last ones.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, man. That's fine. I just like the show, man. They always take you on a trip. You just don't know what's gonna happen next. That's how I feel with them.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite character?
Gotta be.
Grandpa Rick?
That's
I like
cool.
Mr. Meeseeks. Mr.
Oh,
Meeseeks is
that
like, I
was
just
so
want to die.
He said, "Who is the reason why?"
Because Jerry can't get it. That motherfucker was wild.
He said, "You're the reason why I'm here." No, you're the reason why I'm here. Oh man, nah, I don't know. It'll probably be Rick. It'll probably be him. But Bird Person was funny as hell too.
Bird Person.
Yeah.
They made him a robot in the last season, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Hey Rob, you got my car chase?
Your car chase.
This
I
week's
love car chases. I've been addicted.
Oh, this one?
I found this one. This dude is the truth.
Is there no sound?
No sound.
You'll hear it. So that police car
Yo, what?
Guys, give me your speed.
This one, like what? It's
is a stolen police car. So remember that.
Oh,
You
that's some
already stole
GTA
this
shit.
car.
We on some GTA shit. I like it already.
only in Florida, man.
Guys, give me your speed. We're about 105, 110, trying to catch
Yeah.
up. They're still a little ways away.
Yeah.
Why
Look
are they
at it.
moving that fast?
Still south of
Crash.
One's got it, if you want to call it.
10-3, 10-3. Someone just pit him into the woods.
I like this.
The 252.
Yeah. You get to see it from different vantage points on this one too.
Facts.
You like this one?
Stop traffic, stop traffic. We got plenty up here.
9 Charlie 14. I'll be in the far right lane, stopping traffic.
Like this is what cops have to go through. Don't.
Shut it down. Car
That's
in
some
the
real
woods, can't
GTA
see the
shit.
driver.
That's my favorite thing
Yeah.
I do in GTA. Still the police car.
Yeah. Then go for it.
9 Charlie 14. Anybody got eyes?
Yeah,
they
one
got
does
all
not
these
have
police
eyes on
here.
the suspect.
Are you kidding?
All right,
They
everybody
got a
heads
police
up.
car.
He's trying to drive the car out of the woods.
Yes, he
So
is.
he stole the car.
All right, guys, we're going to get 2 shields. We're going to approach, trying to rock the car back and forth so he's still inside. Look, when they get a shield, let's pin him in.
I like this. They're about to attack this nigga to death.
Here we go.
Alright, so
We
this
got
guy's even in.
we got about 50 people here. Everybody coming in their truck. Now here comes the body cam. You ready?
Is this the nigga too?
Huh?
I don't know. I can tell if that was a black dude.
It was.
Oh, he said, bro, that's a nigga.
Bro's not exclusive to black people.
Touche.
Yo, they got everybody and their mom out here.
There's no way he gets out of this.
Hey, y'all, do not walk up on this car. We got enough people up here.
Out! He out!
Oh, he tried
Where'd
to
he
steal
go?
another one. Oh, he different. Oh, you got the taser on him. He said, move, I got you.
The taser's not working. He's not going out.
Oh, he pulled
He's
off?
built- He's built different.
Oh, he had the taser to his head.
Bro, my dude is crazy. He booked it.
Watch
Hell
this
no.
shit.
How did it let him pull off?
Watch this shit.
Hey, get behind the car.
These are some patient officers. I appreciate.
Hey, you defund the cops, right? You don't want them always shooting.
I
That's what
appreciate
happens.
them not shooting.
Is it a white guy? Shoot the white guy.
Nah, fuck that. I think the suspect was black.
You stole a police car. You probably deserve to get shot for stealing a police car.
Not one police car.
Two.
This is the second
Yeah,
one.
he just stole the second one.
Just wait for 5 minutes. You ready for part 3?
Air 1 following the car. Got another car.
Everyone's got eyes still northbound.
Black Coco K9 Explorer.
I wonder what his goal is at this point.
Okay, we got units coming up just south of Dunlawton. That's the only vehicle coming at you. Center lane, blue lights on. Only vehicle, about 3 seconds out.
Yeah, it said Florida. He moving too.
He's getting out of there. Oh, man.
Oh, you're slow. He was slow on the draw. He wasn't ready.
They threw out the strikes.
Oh, is that the car? Is that the car from the?
They threw out the strips. That is dumb.
I do like the way they did it, different vantage
Quick.
points on this one.
14 to whoever's calling it.
They probably just have more people out there. It's like, hey, bro, we need everybody out in this bitch.
They used to this shit in Florida. So
Like, where does he think he's going? You think he can get to like a different state or something?
Well, he's probably hoping that they have
Half mile south of Dunlawton.
the auto inflator quick fix tires. Like once they pop, they like conceal themselves with a gel.
And you would think that
Northbound
cop
on
car would
95 passing Dunlawton.
I'll let you defund the cop.
Traffic stopped on the on-ramp for Dunlawton. Still no traffic northbound center lane.
The channels are patched.
Everybody's upset. Why can't I go?
Coco SUV, Coco
This shit
SUV.
would piss me off.
In the shoulder right now.
Ticket from both Port Orange units. Full ticket.
Aren't y'all been telling me
Guns in
that
the
they
front of
go?
the car. Ask the K9 handler from Coco.
Are there guns in the car?
They said they don't know. They said they don't know if guns are in the car.
This is trash.
Vehicle is smoking. Vehicle smoking north of 95 or north of Dunlawton by about a half mile. Going into the inside lane.
Bro, what?
SWAT officer's vehicle.
Nah, man, this is crazy though.
I saw one from Chicago where this kid stole 3 cars and then ended up wrecking, and like 2 cops died in it. Like, it was wild.
Oh my god, that's sad.
It was wild.
Quarter
I
mile
didn't
south
post that one
Williamson
because this
overpass.
one's better.
K9-1, if you're not already, hurry up and get up
This
here.
dude, the spike strip, right?
Hey, you guys like K9?
I had to.
I guess so.
Car 1, make sure you get your
All he gotta do now is get on that lane of traffic, steal another car, and he's good to go. Right.
For a longer at least.
Disclosure, not a criminal. Play a lot of GTA.
92, does any more sticks or no?
I'm a virtual criminal.
Alright, everybody hold there.
That's
We need
funny.
K9 up here, Mike, where you at?
Just on San Andreas.
Passing Williamson. Alright,
Why do they need a
Breaking
K9?
for the median. Breaking for the median. Everybody slow down. Don't ball up.
There's a cop right there, you idiot. Oh,
Underneath
you
the
dummy.
over the wires. Underneath the wires. In the median.
You dummy.
You done.
Oh, they got the black cars out on them now. Those niggas ain't playing. Now those niggas ain't playing. They got the black cars out.
There's going to be K9 in the signal 10.
Oh, now you want to get out? It's too late.
We got one thrown down on the ground.
Girl, let the dog go. I wonder what his game plan was. That's a good question.
You never got a game plan, I'm guessing. You
Just
can-
get
only
away from
thing
the
you can
cops.
do- exactly. Try to call somebody and see if they'll let you in their house. Bro, you got too much heat on you. You might as well just.
At this point, you need to get out the country.
Yeah.
Mexico, Canada.
In Florida, you ain't close to no. You ain't close to nothing but Cuba.
And that's a swim.
Yeah, and that's depending on what part of Florida you're in.
Do we know what he did?
I have no idea.
Stole a cop car.
Yeah. That was about it.
Yeah, man. It's not for me. I don't know.
Imagine you're about to go swimming with your kids, and the whole road's just covered in cops. So here's the moment of truth: was it a black guy or a white guy?
I'm pretty sure it was a black guy. I saw him in the last one. I don't see one black cop though. I'm kind of disappointed.
What do you mean? There's one right there.
Is he black?
I mean, it's not white.
It's Florida.
That dude right there.
Oh, my brother Haitian, man.
Oh no, he crazy there. He said he's CIA. He's mentally ill.
Nah, he probably is.
He said, "I'm CIA, I'm FBI."
He probably is CIA.
I mean, he did steal 2 cop cars. He might be CIA.
It's locked.
They locked themselves out of the car that he just got away out.
He goes to them.
Spread your feet.
Alright, yeah, he might be on something or something.
Something's wrong.
He got out kind of quick, though.
Well, you killed just about everybody else, so here. Right now. Let's go.
Here, but look like there's a little bit of blood on the floor.
That's the police. That's police. Man down in the field. 7-8 phone. Y'all see the headlights. Y'all see the tools. They say helicopter. Big pot of bread sale. Green State Duke. Green State Coco. Police.
Good.
Hey, where's Brady? That's what's fishing. Brady. Double take. Y'all say okay. Who's this? Y'all say him. What is yours? This is DSC right here. Right up. Right now, Wilson. Close Bigway. Y'all say yes.
Imagine the paperwork for that.
3 counties.
2 cop cars, 3 counties.
That's a long night for somebody.
On a spike strip.
Ball, Will, Vicky, Courtney, St. Bell coming. Dennis Jones coming. Larry Baldwell, St. Tuple, F-17, FPL, Border Patrol Economics, DOT, Department of Transportation, Blue, Mountain Gold, Gold State True, Gold Coast Sea Office.
I'm just gonna say,
There's a black guy.
If he is CIA, he might lose his job because he giving too much information out.
Oh, he the sheriff too? I like it. Black man the sheriff. I like it.
You don't like it until you get pulled over, bro.
You gonna suplex your ass. I'm a sheriff, nigga. Unmarked cars. I still don't know if that's constitutional. Because like if I see an unmarked car pull up to me talking about stop, I'm not stopping him.
Yeah, that does.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, that really bothers me too.
I don't know.
Because,
like,
especially nowadays, because people be trying to pose as fake cops all the time, man. All the time, bro. At one time, I ain't gonna get into it.
How'd that work exactly? Would you be able to still leave until they put out their badge and say they were police?
I mean, I don't know.
How did that work? I don't know.
I don't know you're a cop. I know you're some dude followed me on the highway. That's what I know. And anybody can get blue and red lights.
Yeah.
Where's your sign?
Yeah.
That's why your car is supposed to look different.
Yeah, definitively different. But even now, there's still. I think there was a dude who actually changed his car up and made it look like it was a cop car. The only difference was at the very top is like with those handles. For the civilian cars, I think they're rounded, but for the cop cars, they're like edged or something or reversed. One of them. I just recently watched something on this, but yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, man, Florida heat, man.
I'm happy I live where I live.
You know,
Facts.
Somebody said they wanted to leave, the area because of weather. This winter wasn't that bad, was it?
Bro, Darren, it's global warming, bro. I remember the winters when we were kids. They were way worse.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Bro, I remember being waist deep in snow walking home from school with my sister, and I literally happened to look back to see if she's like not falling in the snow, like falling. Man,
He was also 3 feet tall back then, so who knows?
nah, I was a big 5th grader, man.
Yeah, but
All right.
What else we got?
That's crazy.
We just hit our hour mark.
Oh.
Once again, y'all, thanks for tuning in to the podcast. We're here every Sunday. We stream live on Twitch now. Also, make sure you check us out on social media. We're on Instagrams, Twitter, Facebook, inspiredbyambitionfilms.com, pro.com, inspiredbyambitionpro.com. What else we got, Darren? Inspired by Ambition Films, IBA Films on Facebook. Come check us out. Once again, that's my guy, Darren. And that's LA.
Love you.
Thanks for watching the podcast. Peace.
From small to triple XL, all inspired by ambition gear at inspiredbyambitionpro.com. That's www.inspiredbyambitionpro.com.